Stoke-on-Trent city centre as the Christmas party season gets into full swing. Also swinging into action, Operation Safer Nights, a police initiative to cut drink-related crime. Joining the patrols is Staffordshire's Police and Crime Commissioner, keen to see for himself the problems on the streets.
Well, alcohol issues and violence and domestic violence, I mean, they wreck lives, and it costs the state a fortune while wrecking those lives. So we've got to work harder at dealing with things before they happen rather than clearing them up after they do.
Pubs and clubs are visited early in the night. Some drinkers are also given drugs tests before they're allowed in.
When people are affected by alcohol, what they would do affected by alcohol compared to sober is totally different, and sometimes when you show video footage of the behaviour the next day, some people are quite appalled. So you can't sort of predict what people are going to do.
Alcohol is a factor in half of all street crimes, but binge drinkers can be vulnerable too.
Not only does heavy drinking increase levels of crime, it also increases the risk of being a victim of crime. And that's something these officers are watching for as they police the city centre.
A lot of people who, unfortunately, when they've had a few drinks, aren't aware of the circumstances, they're not used to that level of drink and the effect it has on them, and unfortunately, yes, they do become very vulnerable. And they're the people that, unfortunately, if they're out in the town at the end of the evening, going to the kebab shops and the like, can often get involved in something that they never ever dreamt they would when the night started.
Tonight was relatively quiet. Nevertheless, at the city's custody suite, around 30 prisoners were booked in after being arrested. Back in the city centre, what were the lessons of the night for the Police and Crime Commissioner?
I think there's a big piece of work to do, really understanding how we can use the licensing system and how the local authorities can use the licensing system better than they are now. This place here has been fairly quiet tonight with relatively few incidents, but listening to how sometimes it is and listening to some of the solutions that rank and file officers and senior officers have come up with, absolutely fascinating and completely invaluable for me.
Next week, there'll be more officers on duty here to cope with an anticipated doubling of the number of drinkers. The week before Christmas is notoriously amongst the busiest of the year. Liz Copper, BBC News, Stoke-on-Trent.